Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wild Things Found Online. I am Vokal the Slug Cat, and we are back with some brand new big Toph. So, I did pop into this live stream last night for a little bit. I was doing a little bit of lurking, and the the quality was terrible. I mean, that the Temu Wi-Fi was really shining last night. So thank you so much to the gracious Tophia archive for cutting out all the muck and fluff, giving us the good bits that we can pull from that live stream last night. And a quick announcement. So of course I want to give a big thank you to all of my new slug pups and honorary slug cats that have joined and got their memberships. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. We will be starting the members first videos, I'm thinking Sunday. And essentially what I'll be doing is I'll be releasing the videos members first at as soon as I get done doing them, as I've been doing in the past. And then the videos will go public at 12 p.m. the following day. So just want to give everybody a heads up as far as those changes. If you haven't already, hey, consider getting the membership. But without further ado, let's go ahead, jump in, and see what's cooking with Big Toph.
But I don't make money off of that. I don't make money when I talk about people at all. Defend the system. Who said I'm defending any system?
Sure.
Did I say I was defending the system? I'm not defending the system when I said I'm not getting help from the government for my housing. How is that defending the system? That dude was lying. I'm not defending the system. He's talking about homeless people because he's making money off the homeless people.
But you do get help from the government, or else you wouldn't be in a shelter. Duh.
He doesn't care about.
And hold on, like I just really started to kind of like lock in and look at the video. Tophia, what is this outfit? What even is this? Like, come on, man. If you were going to wear this, you could have at least changed the camera angle, raised the camera up, for the love of God, because this is just, it's gross. It's honestly gross.
About the homeless people, and it wasn't even about him caring about the homeless people. It's about
feeders are having a field day right now,
drugs, and they're not wanting to get the help, and that's not the case. How the real truth? They ain't gonna talk about that. He did an interview because he got paid. Content creators don't do anything for free, mind you. When those dudes walked up and said, "Hey, can we interview you?" I was like, "Sure."
You shit myself, have you? That aroma, something new.
Thank you for the gift cards. Because there's no other way for me to survive. When you're talking about why do I rely on that, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford to live. I don't have other choice but to rely on the system. I don't. Just like how we're over here complaining about high prices, but
Tophia, look, it's such a bullshit excuse. And yes, I do agree that the cost of living and inflation, it's ridiculous. The shit is out of hand. But to say that you cannot afford to live when virtually everyone else is affording to live. And of course, I'm not turning a blind eye to the homeless population, but it's literally less than 1% of the population is homeless. Now, granted, I'm sure there's many people that are struggling to make ends meet. So I'm not taking away from that. My problem with Tophia is there's absolutely no effort. Because, it'd be one thing if she was working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and, she was still, on her e-begging and bumming, but at least she was providing the bare essentials for herself. She completely refuses to do anything whatsoever. Besides, she only wants to make money in the easiest manner possible. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to give her props for that. $400 a month plazing. And then what, maybe $400 to $1,000 on TikTok. Like, you're holding yourself back because there's nothing stopping her from doing TikTok, plazing, and getting a job, which would infinitely make her life better. But she would rather sit on her ass all day. So I'm going to keep giving her shit for it till the end of time.
then we have no choice but to buy these things at this price because we can't afford it. Are you gonna starve, or are you gonna? So a lot of people sit here and complain about high food prices. So starve then. Don't buy these food. Don't buy the food if it's high prices, right? Again, we don't have no other choice or no other way. It's not about a job. It's not about anything like that. Get a job, and you still can't afford to live, and you know that.
And with her saying that, let me further expand on the previous point. Like, yes, you know, you don't have a choice, but choosing to do nothing is not viable. To the point where instead of you actually making something of yourself and at least trying to claw your way out of this situation, you are content leeching off of the dollars of other people that are also out there struggling and working 9 to 5s because their taxes are going to your current living situation, Tophia. And you're perfectly fine leeching off of all these other people that are working, probably also struggling, probably also complaining about the cost of living and rent and food prices. But you don't see a problem with taking advantage of that tax money that's keeping you in this shelter, or shelters, I should say. But sure, continue.
Expect you to make 3 times the rent. You're not making $3,000 working at McDonald's. The only way you can survive or you can afford to live is if you're living with a roommate, someone who is also helping you pay some of the bills. I'm not going to live with someone I don't know. I've already said that. For my safety, if I don't know the person, I ain't going to live with them. That's just that. I'm not going to put my life in someone else's hands. You never know if the person could get up and leave, not pay the half of their rent. You don't know if that person's going to end up harming you in the end and you end up on a Dateline episode. You don't know any of that. I like to stay in my comfort zone. I like to be around someone that I know. That's what it's like living with some rando. I'm not going to live with some rando just because I need a place to live and I need help paying. No, let's call it for what it really is. I'm stressed most of the time for the simple fact is I can't afford to live. You can't afford to live. Nobody can afford to live. And you're...
So like, stressed from what? Because if you were actually out there trying and still falling behind, then I could be like, okay, I can understand. I can empathize. I've been there. Like, you know, like, bro, I've almost been homeless at one point. Luckily, I had a friend, 2 of my friends, they had a townhouse. It was a 2-bedroom. And it was like, dude, look, you can crash on the couch and, you know, until you get back on your feet, or you can stay as long as you want to, because they actually enjoyed me being there. And of course, a third person splitting the rent's never a bad thing. So, bruh, I get it, but not doing anything at all is not a solution, Toph. And then again, everybody else around you in Albuquerque, all these people that have apartments, all these people that have houses, sure, a lot of them might be struggling, but they're still getting by. They are indeed affording to live. It might be tough, but they're doing it.
Sitting here trying to tell someone when you can't afford to live. You know what it is? Maybe your state is a good state to live in. But here, you're not making $3,000 at McDonald's. You're not making nearly enough to afford.
Then don't work at McDonald's, Tophia. Get a better job. And I'm not knocking fast food workers when I say that. But like, if that's how you feel, okay, then don't work fast food. Go work at like a call center or a warehouse. You know, there's a shit ton of different industries that you can get in. And again, going back to a point I made in one of my videos not too long ago, a lot of jobs pay more than minimum wage. They're not paying minimum wage for the majority of states, unless the minimum wage is very fucking high. I mean, dude, they just raised y'all's minimum wage up to $15 an hour. That's a good starting point. So you can probably find a decent gig making maybe $17, $18 an hour. And hey, there you go. You could be getting at least pretty close to that 3K. And you don't you don't have to live in an apartment complex that wants 3 times the rent. Not every single apartment complex is like that. And even if they are, you can always rent privately. Stupid.
To live. And minimum wage, this paycheck stuff, The minimum wage was not for people, actually. Minimum wage was for college students. That's how minimum wage came about.
Yep.
There's no such thing as a living wage. A living wage was created for college students in school. So why do we have a living wage? Look up the origins of a living wage and where a living wage comes from.
Where does it come from, Toph? Please enlighten us. Where does it come from? Tell us. Because I guarantee she doesn't fucking know. These are probably just talking points that she saw on TikTok.
Thank you for the gift. Just keep. But I'm just looking for the gifts.
We're asking you, shit myself, have you? That
That's what's
aroma
going on.
something new.
These audio gifts are
It can be
crazy.
this, but it is 100% true. I can't afford anything on my own. If I didn't have Medicaid, I probably would have died. Anyways, what I was going to say is that Santori, Karuna literally is an ASMR channel. So and here's the thing, and my mom did mention
Okay.
this too, about Ask Too Trippy, right? Let's get into it. Ask Too Trippy's page is a true crime page. So instead of talking about true crime, you're talking about people. Then take true crime out of your name. You're not a true crime page. You're not talking about true crime. I love how people you built a platform around true crime and then you try to pivot that. People are going to unfollow you
What?
if you're not talking about true crime.
Like Tophia, what are you, the content police? Who cares? It's their page. Like, what are we talking about? Like, okay, what's your niche, Tophia? What is your content about? What did you build your content around? Lip syncs? Well, Tophia, you're live right now. You're not lip syncing. Why ain't you lip syncing? Why ain't you thirst trapping right now? People should unfollow you, right? Based on your logic. Like, this is just such a dumb thing to say, because who says that just because something is a true crime or an ASMR or a whatever channel, they can't have variety? Maybe the main focus is true crime, and then every now and then they just want to sprinkle in a little something, something. You just mad because it's about you. That's all it is.
They're going to unfollow your page. Change your name from true crime if you're not really going to talk about true crime, right? That's the same thing
Stupid.
with Karuna. She's literally an ASMR page, but she's talking about me. You're not a T page, you're an ASMR page. People didn't follow you for T, they followed you for ASMR. If I saw that followed pages, I literally followed this account for singers, right? It was a page that posted very talented singers. All of a sudden, I think they sold the account. That's what I
Okay.
really think. Whoever was behind the account sold the account to someone else, and now they post OF girls or whatever about girls that have OF, and here's her OF, and I'm like, I didn't even follow this page for that. I followed it for singing, and now it's just completely changed.
Okay, then unfollow them and move on. Who cares? Like, what are we talking about right now? If, are you worried that they're going to lose viewers because they're talking about you? Who cares? It's their page. If they lose people because they're wasting time talking about you, then that's on them. If anything, you should be happy because that's less people that will see them talking shit about you, Toph. I don't understand.
Some of y'all really, you like your niche. You need to get back into your niche. You're not
You don't
doing
even
ASMR.
have
You're
one.
talking about me. You're not. Then take ASMR out of your name and just be a T page if you want to.
Okay, well, take Chew out of your name. Because with that logic, you should just be talking about like Pokemon or some shit. Take Chew out your name. Just Tophia.
If you're not going to do ASMR, then take it out of your name. You're riding on the coattails of the fact that you went viral for ASMR, and you can't let go of that. Why did you bring up that old thing? We ain't even talking about it. I already explained why I did that. He asked for it. She can't talk about what she wants if her name is literally ASMR. People didn't follow her for T, they followed her for ASMR. If she can talk about whatever she wants. I'm not saying that. But I say she can't talk about me. But if she's going to talk
Yes,
about
she
people,
can.
then she should take ASMR out of her name.
But she doesn't have to because it's her shit. You don't get to dictate what people do with their shit, just like you don't want people telling you what to do with your fucking page. So, like, what are you talking about?
People, if I made myself a T page and I start doing ASMR, people are not going to follow me. People are going to unfollow me because I'm doing ASMR instead of talking about T. That's the whole point. It's
This
not
is a
being
dumb
jealous.
conversation,
She's no longer
but
an
okay.
ASMR page. She's a T page. She picks fights with random people for no reason. If your ASMR was doing that good, you wouldn't need to pick fights for no reason. You don't see ASMR pages talk about people because they're about ASMR. It's their niche. You're sitting here talking about people. You pick random fights with people for no reason. It was brought up on TikTok. There's a video about it that says she picks fights with people for no reason, and they didn't even know why. she's fighting with someone. It was random. You're an ASMR page. You're not a T page. You want to be a T page, then change your page. I don't even know what happened, y'all. I don't even know what's going on. This is so crazy. But thank you guys for the gift points. I'm bi for attention. I'm not, bro. I am
Ridiculous.
really not. They're not small. They're actually my size.
Girl,
I got
bruh, I swear to God. Why would you do that? Well, like, why would you even do that? Just, you're so gross. And they are not your size. They are obviously too damn small, man.
them for the team. But anyways, it's crazy. What did someone say? They're practically cutting your thigh circulation. No, they're not.
They
Look,
are.
when I stand up, see?
Bruh,
They're actually falling down, but no, they're not cutting my circulation. What are you
Get the
even
fuck
talking
outta
about?
here.
I could literally pull them, see? Yeah, hello?
Shit myself, have you? That aroma, something new. Shit myself, have
Hey, you smell yourself. Well, I don't know why people keep saying funky. If you smell something rancid, it's because you're smelling yourself. You can't smell.
no, it's because you look dingy. You look funky. Just the hair alone. I'm not even going to get into the rest of this terrible outfit.
Out through the screen. I can't smell you. So if you smell something, it must be yourself. I don't know why people are talking about the smells. If they don't smell, then go hop in the shower. You ain't smelling me through the screen. You smelling yourself. That's not gonna work on
Ooh,
me.
good comeback.
Try again. I'm not gonna say that. And you came on here in the fake account. Nah. Guys, those middle school, look down your shirt and spell attic. ATTIC. Spell IHOPness. IHO.
Wow.
Hello. I know that. You can't fool the fooler. That stuff's been around.
You can't fool the fooler. Tophia 2026. What the fuck?
Forever. Those, you know how they try to get you by saying a name and they put it together? Think of Mo from The Simpsons and then you'll get it. Hi, I'm calling for first name Huge, last name Anus. Is there a Huge Anus here? Huge Anus. Think of that. That's what I'm talking about. Someone tried to pull that and offer that. When it comes to money, I'm very good at saving money. To an extent. Now,
Tophia. Be so fucking for real. Tophia, you just got a lump sum of money and you literally, I guarantee she basically has no money left right now. You just got that $800 from Temu and you turn around, you wasted $50 on a popcorn bucket, probably close to $100, if not more, on a Nintendo Switch, and you just told us that you bought a TV, even though you have a bunch of TVs in storage. And you want to say you're good at saving money? Stop the cap. Fuck out of here.
because I need things, I gotta buy things and just that. Because I rarely have any clothes. I don't even have any summer clothes. I have really short.
Tophia, come on. You've been saying you don't have any clothes for over a year, and you've been buying a shit ton of clothes or getting them off the TikTok shop. How do you still not have clothes at this point? Come on, bruh. I can't. She's already making me frustrated. It's too early.
Shorts and that's it. I need some more shorts. Look, my brother is gone and I'm trying to not move on. I still have grief, right? My brother.
What? You're trying to not move on? Well, yeah, that doesn't sound fucking healthy. The hell?
My brother is gone and I'm trying to not move on. I still have grief, right? My brother, when his friends were sad, upset, or down, he always did something to make them laugh or make them feel happy. Someone told me that, and I do realize that my brother would not want me sad about him all the time. My brother wanted everyone happy. He wouldn't want me moping around. He wouldn't want me crying all the time, being upset. There's only so much that you can grieve. I'm never going to get over grieving because I watched my brother die in front of me. I literally woke up
You
to the
did not,
gunshots
but
of
okay.
him being unalived. You don't even know what that's like, and you think because...
Mind you, she says she heard the pop, looked up, and then laid back down. So no, you didn't see your brother get unalived yet again. You're taking that shit out of context. You didn't even realize he was gone. You literally said you put your head back down and put the blanket back over your head. Stop lying. Shit.
I'm excited about games that I'm moving on.
Games?
My brother loved playing games. I loved playing games with him too. We would play Call of Duty Zombies. Like my brother, he would get me game systems. He knew I loved to play games. We were never without an Xbox. We were
Tophia, you are the older sibling. Why was your younger brother buying you games and consoles? Like what?
never without a game system. He wanted a game system, bam, Xbox. The last time we had an Xbox, I bought that Xbox. These
Sure.
are things that I'm struggling with. I'm grieving my brother, but I can't be sad all the time. I have to eventually pick myself up and be able to do normal things again because it's hard for me to do normal things when I'm out there. That experience with that car race just affected me because it's like, oh, those are some of the things that we used to do driving around with my brother Saturdays and Sundays, going from one point to another. But right now I'm trying to do my housing. I
Well,
haven't
yeah,
moved
that's
on. I'm
driving.
still grieving. When I talk about gaming and stuff, I want to game again. I want to travel. I want to experience life. I've never been in a relationship or whatever. That really is affecting me. People tell me you're not where you need to be and you're 32. That
You're
really
not.
bothers me. It shouldn't be.
Then do something about it, man. Like, what the fuck? It bothers me. And notice, like, I'm not where I need to be at. That was the last thing she said. And Tophia always prioritizes the list. So the fact that her life is in complete shambles, that was the last thing. Gaming. Hold on, let's go back. We'll see what all was on this list real quick.
I want to experience life. I've never been in a relationship or whatever. That really is affecting me. People tell me you're not where you need to be and you're 32. That really.
Okay, so playing video games, traveling, being in a relationship, and then my life not being what it should be. Come on, Toph. You gotta prioritize better. And if you're not happy with where you're at, then get off your ass and do something about it. Obviously, TikTok is not cutting the mustard, man. You've been doing this for years and you don't even make close to minimum wage. At what point, again, you don't have to stop doing TikTok, but at what point do we add a job into the mix so we can get farther ahead?
It bothers me. It shouldn't be like running out of time. That's what my brain is telling me. I don't
You
got
are,
a lot
though.
of time with my mom. I want to enjoy the time that I have with my mom. I want to be out there with my friends hanging out. Say, hey, let's
Sure.
go pull up to this meet. Start showing up to car meets. You're like, hey, let's get it. I don't have to have no curfew or nothing. We'd be out there whipping it. Hello? That's what I want to do.
Lame.
I want to enjoy life, and I can't be stuck being upset over my brother because my brother won't want me to be upset. Imagine I pulling to a car meet in a scooter. Man, I need a fly whip. I need something fly, like a convertible BMW. That's what I need, or a Dodge Challenger SRT with a V8 engine, a Hellcat, or a Jeep. I can't really whip it in a Jeep. I'm not trying to speed or race or anything like that. I can't do speed. Like my brother, he was.
You can't do speed. You can't drive at all. Like, come on, Tophia, can you just step into reality for like more than 2 minutes? It would be amazing.
Wasn't really speeding, so I was okay with that. When we would go fast, it wasn't like as if I feel that we're going fast and we're speeding, that's what really. But it didn't even feel like we were driving fast. I just want to be able to enjoy life and other people to enjoy life, and that's that. I want the best for other people, not just for myself. The people in my real life, some of you guys, right? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have happiness. What's stopping you from doing the things that you want to do? Push for the things that you
Nothing.
want
I'm
to
doing
do.
it.
You sit here and you talk about how you want people to be better, but you come in here with negativity all the time. Just think positive. For me, I'm trying to change my thinking. I really.
Well, Tophia, the thing is, yes, you should think positive, but just thinking positive does not produce any results. You need action. You can think positively and optimistically all you want to, but if there's no action to get to the things that you're trying to achieve or your goals, it's never going to happen.
I haven't eaten anything either. I'm starving and I'm wondering why. And I realized I didn't eat dinner. Great. I can't sit here and be sad all the time about my brother. The grief is still going to be there. That doesn't mean I don't care about him or I forgot about him.
Yeah, no
That's the
shit.
least of it. I miss gaming. To be honest, I miss gaming.
What, Tophia, you're homeless. Like, okay, you can miss gaming, but that's not. It should not be the priority right now. Gaming is becoming a more and more expensive hobby every year. Not too long ago, games was $50, then they was $60. Now they $70, and I think we just had like 2 or 3 games. Well, hell, the Mario games, Mario Kart and shit, $80. Some of the new games dropping $80. GTA 6, that's going to be $80 or $100 for the Ultimate Edition with that doesn't even come with shit. Such a crock of shit. But don't even get me started, okay? What I'm trying to say is gaming is an expensive hobby, and you are not in a position to even try and partake.
That's why I got a Switch. I like to play games, actual games, not like games. But I like to play games. I'm a gamer. My first
You're
game
not.
system was a 64, N64, Nintendo 64. My second game system was a PlayStation Portable. Well, no, actually, before the PlayStation Portable, it was a PS2. That was my second game system. My third game system was a handheld game, which was PSP, and my brother got the Game Boy Advance SP. What you know about that?
All
What
about
you know
it.
about that? Hey, I know all about that. Anyways. And then I got a PlayStation 1.
If my first game system was the original Nintendo, baby. Kicking it old school.
I found a PlayStation 1 at Google and I bought it because I never had a PlayStation 1. I went from a Nintendo 64, skip PlayStation 1 because PlayStation 1 probably came out, I think, in the 1990s. And then it evolved. Nintendo was out. Before Nintendo, there was the Atari. My brother has an Atari. It was the Atari. He has this, I don't know if he still has it. I hope he can sell it. Rob the Robot. Look up Rob the Robot. It's very expensive in the gaming world. Mint condition Rob the Robot. You're looking at thousands of dollars someone would pay for that. It's a robot that literally, it's cool. It works for the Nintendo, I believe, but he bought it with the box. And he bought this Atari with the box, but box got used for other things and it got torn. But he had an Atari. Then you had 3 Xbox 360s, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PSP, PlayStation Portable, Game Boy Advance SP. I had a Game Boy Advance SP. I always get Game Boys. I love Game Boys. Need for Speed Most Wanted. That's the game that I had. And I was so mad. I had bought Need for Speed Most Wanted for the PlayStation 2 stolen. The guy that helped my family move stole the game. No, he did, because when we moved to the house, it was gone. And I said, where's my game? I wanted to play. And he realized he stole it. Because where else did the game go? I'm a gamer.
Shucks.
I've been gaming since I was little. When we were little, my dad got us a PlayStation 2 around the age of 10. I was playing Tony Hawk. We had a game system. Then from there, because my parents got back pay, so they bought us anything we wanted. PlayStation was out, we got a PlayStation 2. So then he bought another PlayStation 2, second PlayStation 2. The first system I had was a 64. I saved all my money for that. I didn't save it for that, but I had...
What money? What money, Tophia? You've had one job your entire life. Is that what the Dunkin' Donuts money went to? There's no fucking way.
An allowance, and I saved $60.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
There was a flyer where we lived, and this kid put up that he was selling his 64 with 60 games, $60. I bought this 64, 60 games, $60. That's crazy. 60 games. Madden, Batman, that Looney Tunes game, the one that is like, what's it called? Rabbit Rampage. That one. I had all of these games. Madden is where it's at. Madden is the ish. Mortal Kombat. I have Mortal Kombat. Me and my cousin used to play even though I wasn't good. My cousin used to whoop me on Mortal Kombat.
Guys, I'm sorry, but I'm actually... I'm like low-key upset because I'm actually enjoying this conversation right here because I'm a huge gamer, if you couldn't tell. But she's taking me down fucking memory lane right now, and I'm annoyed just because it's fucking tough.
I used to beat my brother at Madden and NBA, which I'm getting NBA. If this works out, I'm getting NBA.
Why?
It's NBA 12, but my brother got the new NBAs, but I don't know. He might have sold some stuff in stores, so I don't think it's in there. But NBA 2K19, I think it was. He got it when it came out. It's 2K.
So, bruh, okay, so... There it is. I was just waiting for her to say something stupid. So you're gonna go to the storage to try and find some fucking video games, but your mom has not been having her hearing aids for over a year and a half almost. And you wouldn't go to the storage for that, but for some games, yes. You will never get me to believe that you care about your mom, Tophia. Ever. I swear. That's wild.
I love 2K. NBA. But the ones that I want to play, WWE SmackDown versus Raw. I love the older games, SmackDown versus Raw, the one where you could do like pillow fight, that one, or the Buried Alive match. That's the ones that I used to like to play, is the one with the Buried Alive match. But what was it? Oh, the NBA game that I like to play is the one where you can do the slam dunk contest. That's my favorite. I love to do slam dunk contest, or the horse, where you play horse, especially with Tony Hawk playing horse. That's the things that I like to do with my brother, is play games. Like, bruh. I remember every day from elementary school when we lived with my grandma, I would come home. My grandma had an upstairs built, and it had to go up, and it was cool upstairs, and I would go upstairs. Now I'm afraid to climb up there, but I used to go up there, and cause it's weird. It's not like actual stairs. It's kind of like a ladder-looking stairs, and it's like white, and then you go up there. You
Girl, get to the
over,
point.
and then you get up there. It looks like an attic, but it's not. It's my grandpa built that, added that on, and built it. And so every day after school, if I had a good report and I didn't get in trouble, I could go upstairs and play my game. And I would always go upstairs and play my game. I would be like, run upstairs, be on my 64, be gaming. That was me. But I don't have it because my cousin, he stole it and sold it for weed. I've been gaming for a long time.
That's tough.
I remember one time, it was crazy. The PS3 came out, and I came home from school, right? It was a fair day or something at school for the seniors. And it was like, we didn't have no school. So school was over for us because we're seniors, we're graduating. And they had this, it was kind of like a fair. It didn't have any rides or anything, fair day, but it had carnival games. It was a carnival. And I went to the carnival, and then I went home. I come home, and there's a PlayStation 3, and I'm like, and my brother was like, we went to the pawn shop and we picked up a PS3. I was like, oh, and then we had Spider-Man 3, I think it was. I used to love to go all the way to the top of the Empire State Building and jump and then just like wing. That was a fun game to play with Spider-Man.
Okay.
And then Ape Escape. I had Ape Escape on my PlayStation Portable. Hot Shots Golf. Mojo for the PlayStation 2. My mom loved that game, Mojo. Have you guys ever heard of Mojo? It's
Nope.
like one of the games that they have now where it's a ball that rolls and you gotta go through obstacles and not have it fall off. Well, this one is a thing that rotates all the way around, and it's a colored ball, and you have to match it to the colored squares and try not to fall off or mess up. That was a fun game. I'm a gamer. Games were my life. That's all I did was game. Call of Duty. And man, probably now they still talk crap on Call of Duty, but back then they talked some mad crap. I used to be real good at Call of Duty.
Were you though?
Real good. I was, but I'm trying to get back into gaming. Gaming is my thing. My dad wasn't strict. I couldn't go out and do things, but I could game. Even though my dad, he didn't like games. He said gaming is not going to make you money. To be honest, he didn't like that we bought game systems. He didn't like that at all. He would be like, all you do is play on those games all day. Gaming ain't going to make you money. A lot of my brother's friends, parents would tell them, go outside. You're not gaming all day, right? They didn't want them on their game systems, and we couldn't go outside either. Sometimes my dad would say, no, you can't go out. And I wanted to go out to the park. No, you can't go. It was just like that. Or if I wanted to go for a walk, I could. But at the same time, my dad never he said gaming wouldn't make you money. But look at now. People are streaming and making money playing games. It's crazy. He would get mad at us. Sometimes my brother would be up late, 12 o'clock in the morning, playing Call of Duty. And then, my brother got into IMVU because of me. And that became a thing. And my dad did not like that at all. My brother would be, they're laughing out loud because you can talk to people on IMVU. So he made some friends on there. Then my dad doesn't like rap.
Man, she must really be into this. I've never heard Tophia talk about like one subject that's actually like somewhat positive for this long.
Loud. And some of my brother's friends would be loud. And he would be like, no, you gotta go home. If they became too loud and rowdy, that was not allowed in my house. He would tell them to leave. Your friends gotta go. They too loud and I'm trying to work. Or it wasn't even that. Kids just being kids. You can't be a kid, but for him, anytime I knew, I was like, oh, he's gonna tell them to leave. My brother was laughing. I wanted to tell him because I know my dad was gonna get mad. Sure enough, my dad said, be quiet, turn that off. That's just how he was. And gaming to him, if it wasn't about making money, he didn't really like it. All you do is watch TV all day, right? Well, I'm a kid, I'm a teenager, what am I supposed to do? He bought me a desk. He bought me this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and told me I had to read this book. He gave me a book that he bought because he used to buy a lot of these books at Goodwill to read. And one of the books he got was by Lee Iacocca. Lee Iacocca was the man that started whatever it was with Ford Motor Company or something like that. I don't know. He's a guy that's really rich, whatever, Lee Iacocca. Just look him up. Anyways, if it wasn't about making money, we couldn't really do things, right? My dad was like, who's the richest person in the world? Name the 3 richest people in the world. At that time, it was Carlos Slim Hulu. He's rich in Mexico. He's rich for telephone.
And apparently it didn't matter because you and your whole family remained broke as fuck. It's just wild, man.
He was rich for starting a telephone company. He had a lot of money and he lived in Mexico. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. At the time, my dad had connections and basically was
Did
in
he?
contact with Warren Buffett's daughter. And so at the
Sure.
time,
Okay.
it was like Bill Gates is Microsoft, Xbox. Then you have Steve Jobs, Apple, iPhone, crazy, right? It was Warren, which has Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway is an investment company. He made money doing investments, millions of dollars invested. And my brother was good.
No, the fuck he did not, Toph. If he was making people millions of dollars, your family would not be in the situation that it was in. Because if he could trade for other people and make them a shit ton of money, he could have did it for y'all too. So there's a lie somewhere in this story.
Good at computers and my brother was good at cars and he wanted to be a mechanic. And my dad said, well, I really to do this thing. You like computers, working on computers, you could open up a shop and help fix people's computers. Because my brother was a wizard at computers. He was a tech wizard when it came to computers, right? Cars, he was a mechanic. He wanted to work on cars. He wanted, there was one job he was trying to get, I remember recently, before he passed away, and he could have possibly been working on hot rods. But my dad, because he wanted someone to do investments, he's like, well, you're going to invest, he told me, and he's going to do the cars and the computer. I wanted to have a restaurant. He told me, there's too saturated. You don't want that. Like, all I do was be a cook. I took cooking classes with my mom when I was in elementary school. We would watch.
Tophia, you cannot cook, gang. You've done cooking live streams. You cannot cook. You might enjoy cooking, but you can't cook.
Walk to the elementary school and do a cooking class every Saturday. I wanted to become a cook. I wanted to chef it up and have my own restaurant, right? But I felt like, and I did go to business for myself partially when I went to college. I went to UNM. I was trying to get a degree in business, but I did partially kind of do it, Dad, because he wanted me to go for business, but I was already going. And I wasn't good enough because I wanted to do a restaurant and he wanted me to do investments. He said, I'm going to teach you about investments so you know when I'm to invest money. And I didn't want to do that. So then because I didn't want to do it, he would tell my brother, well, you're going to do investments and she's going to open up her restaurant, and telling him he couldn't do what he wanted. And my brother really loved. He was into.
And neither one of y'all did shit. So, like, who cares? Your brother was working at Jimmy John's and you spent almost the past decade on TikTok and Musically. Good job.
To the war. He read books about war. He was into flying airplanes. He wanted to become a pilot. He's always wanted to be involved somewhat with airplanes. And he was really looking into everything it took to become a pilot and fly for the airlines. He wanted to fly for United Airlines. I was worried because I saw all these freak accidents. Airplanes are falling out of the sky. Airplanes going missing. And then, they can't airplanes or the people, because the airplanes disappeared. They're gone. Like a whole big airplane disappeared. And you can't and I know about that stuff. That just doesn't bother me. I still want to fly. He wanted to be a police officer, but my dad, he was strict. Gaming to him was nonsense because it wasn't making money. We could game, but when it became to be we're gaming all day, he had an issue. And I understand limiting time on gaming, but we're kids. I'm a teenager. What am I supposed to do? I can't go outside. I don't have friends to hang out with. And the friends that I do have to hang out with, I can't go with them anywhere. And sometimes they wouldn't invite me to go anywhere. I was alienated in high school. I became friends with people in the clubs I was in. I became friends with people from student government. And then when I was in student government, I went from student government to I was in Black Student Union. And then what happened is that Black Student Union, hold on, I'm trying to put my
Girl, we don't care about these high school stories.
But anyways, so then what happened was that at that time, the girls would talk about, because I hung out with these girls. Mind you, what do you talk about when you're in high school? Guys. They were interested in guys. I remember one time this girl this guy that was going to her school, but they were 18, so they were able to go to college parties. They were talking about going to college parties and doing those things I couldn't do. A lot of people at my high school was throwing house parties and getting busted by police. I remember one time someone said they threw a house party so big that the whole street and the police were called. And I was just like, I'm not going to be rebellious and do that, because if I got caught drinking or at a house party, my parents would have. But I remember this one girl liked this boy. This was so funny. Oh my god, I don't even know what it was. So, anyways, one time he's walking by
Whatever this story is, it's not going to be funny. But go ahead, Toph.
lunch and she's like, oh my god, she's freaking out. How it is when you see the boy you like. And he walked right by her and he had this black mark on the back of his ear. It looked like he didn't wash behind his ear. And that turned her off. She was like, no, after that, she was like, no, I don't even like him because of that. And I was just walked by. We were sitting there talking at the table because I used to hang out with them. Rock Student Union, I did that when I was a senior. One of the clubs I took was jujitsu. So I learned some jujitsu, which was crazy. I wanted to learn jujitsu.
Oh my god. I cannot imagine having to roll with Toph. Just yuck. Just I know that funk and that gi was like crazy. I took judo, by the way.
My dad was a black belt in karate. He was going to teach us karate, but he never did. And I said, you know what? It would be cool to learn jujitsu. So I learned jujitsu. Cool, right? Anyways,
Show us a move.
then my senior year, I did Black Student Union and hung out with the girls at lunch because I didn't really have any friends. So then I would hang out with them and they would just talk about what they would basically the parties they would go to because they would go to the college parties. And at that time, I couldn't go anywhere. I didn't really have, they probably wouldn't have hung out with me outside of school anyways. It wasn't, I was close with them like that, but I didn't really have friends. I just hung out with them. And then there was this one class where we would all sit. We had our own group separate from other people, and we would sit in our group and just make jokes. Oh, this one kid, Jonathan, he used to pick on me all the time. He loved picking on me. I couldn't even leave class to go to my other class because he would be picking on me. He loved to hit me those lanyards that extend. Oh, but he went whack, that hurt. And one time the teacher was laughing. I'm like, this is not funny. You need to tell us something so I can leave. He was trying to hit me with the
Even the teacher laughing at you, man. What the fuck? That's crazy.
lanyard, right? Because we had to wear our school IDs like that. And I was like, oh my God. And then he wouldn't let me leave. He's like, you better not leave. I'm gonna. And I was like, dang, I couldn't leave. I was trapped in the classroom. And then it was funny. We had this one chair that had no wheel. It was missing one wheel. And they would always set it up. And you wouldn't even pay attention. They were like rolling chairs. And if you sat down, you would go flying. So they would prank in the group. They would prank one of us in the group and they would put that chair there. And if you didn't check for that chair, because sometimes you would just sit down, they thought it was funny. I remember I used to see people fall off that chair because it was missing a wheel. And they would prank people like that. And that was the time that one kid, Justin, opened up to us because they looked at him and then they said, out of nowhere, Jonathan, I think it was, he was like, you're gay. And then he looked at everyone and he's like, slightly. And they were slightly, what do you mean? And then he explained the whole story about how he experimented dating with a guy and how his mom was
What
towards that.
Tophia, what the fuck is this story, man? What is happening right now?
I was like, oh, wow. That he used to have a boyfriend and that he experimented dating with a guy and that made him slightly gay. And I was like, what? That was so real. I just remember this stuff while it happened. I didn't have friends in school. I just hung out with people in class or
Obviously.
at lunch. I was just trying to impress someone. And I don't think, I liked somebody that was on the basketball team. He was tall. He was 6 foot, blue eyes, played on the basketball team. I got jealous because he started to like his friend that ran track. She ran cross country. That's what my brother did, ran cross country. And then I liked I had several people that I liked. One of the guys was a skater. The other guy was, I don't know.
Oh my
He was on the
goodness,
basketball team,
Tophia.
but I know he liked the Lakers and I know he liked Sierra. Anyways, Singer Sierra, man, they were, what are you even talking about? I was in high school at that time, which means we're the same age. Use your common sense. Gosh.
But why are we reminiscing on this now? Who asked? We don't care. With this, it's weird.
Over a high schooler at 32. I was literally the same age. We were both in the same high school. I hate when people do that, man. I was literally the same age as that person because I was in high school at the time. I'm talking about my high school experience. I remember
Living in the
girls,
past,
I remember
man.
at that time,
Christ.
Jersey Shore was popular. All the guys had their hair spiked like Jersey Shore. They had their hair spiked. They had it spiked like that. And all the girls had the poof. They would have their hair tied back. It was straightened with a poof. I remember the poof. Everybody had the poof. I remember everybody was in Jersey Shore. At that time, there was a lot of, I remember all, what do you call it, pop culture back then. People, I remember the girls would talk, because at that time, Disney Channel was popular. And that's when the Jonas Brothers was dating Miley Cyrus. What was it, Nick Jonas? Dated Miley Cyrus, and Joe Jonas dated Demi Lovato. And I remember the girls at school would be talking about that. Oh my God, did you dating? And then I remember the show that went popular, right? It was RuPaul's Drag Race. I knew a lot of people in school that watched RuPaul's Drag Race. I used to watch RuPaul's Drag Race when I was a teenager. I've been watching that since Carmen Carrera, Jujubee, Shangela, and so I remember Flavor of Love came out, and everybody was talking about that. My family, my dad, my mom, my brother, we were all into Flavor of Love. We tuned in every week. And I remember I went to school. That was the ending when Pumpkin spit on New York. And I went to school, and I remember everyone hearing about, oh, did you
I
see Pumpkin spit on New York? I
Yeah, that shit
remember
was
that
crazy.
when everyone at school was talking about that. And then WrestleMania and Undertaker and his streak. I watched WrestleMania because of Undertaker's streak. I am so mad that they ended Undertaker's streak by letting him lose to Brock Lesnar. I will never forgive WWE for doing that. I hate Brock Lesnar. I was like, and who Undertaker loses his streak to is Brock Lesnar? I'm so angry. And I remember my dad, this was pay-per-view, so he would rent on pay-per-view WWE, and we would watch WrestleMania. We were into wrestling at that time. Every I tuned into Raw. Every Friday I tuned into SmackDown. I was a huge wrestling fan. That was at the time that CM Punk was still wrestling. And John Cena, The Undertaker, Dave Bautista. I've been watching wrestling all my life. Wrestling. My dad's favorite wrestler was Ric Flair. Goldust, Boogeyman. Who else? The Undertaker, D-Generation X. And I could really get into it about WWE. Me and my friend both loved Jeff and Matt Hardy. We were huge fans. And I remember getting the posters at Walmart, and I got an Undertaker poster. I got a Jeff and Matt Hardy poster when Jeff Hardy was like that, him next to Matt Hardy. And then I would get these posters from the book fair, and I remember the ones that were like Dream Big, and it was like and then it had like the thing, and then the kitty was looking, and then it was like a lion, Dream Big, and then I had one of those that was like the commercials, but it was a poster. I had posters hanging up on my wall. I would just tape it, and I would get them from the book fair from Walmart. I can't even remember his name. I'll find it going through this somewhere, but yeah. I'm not responding to invisible comments. But anyways, guys, I'm probably going to get off.
Kinda.
Because I got to figure out that whole thing. But have a good day or night where you guys are. We'll see you guys later.
Is that it?
I'm probably going to get back on Fortnite sometime, but probably not streaming me playing Fortnite because I can't. Safety reasons. But I think I'm going to get back into gaming again. So that'll be good. But have a good day or night, you guys are. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Bye, Toph. Welp. Sorry for the lack of commentary in the second half of this video, but wasn't really much for me to say. She's just basically just taking a trip down memory lane about video games and going back into her high school days yet again. So I don't know. I don't really got anything to say about none of that. So I did what I could with what I had, guys. Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed at least the first half. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Big shout out to my slug pups and slug cats. And yeah, guess that's that for today. Hopefully y'all have an amazing weekend. About to kick this thing off right. So y'all be safe, be kind to each other, and I'll see you all very soon.